What's up, Steeler fans? Welcome back, man, to another special edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, guys, and we got a lot to talk about in regards to the second and third round. Now, guys, I'm not going to go as long as I did last night. I went a little longer than expected talking about TJ Watt, but I'm definitely going to dive into these picks, guys. We're going to talk about, some of the surprises, things that I didn't necessarily see coming. And, from other teams and, even from the Steelers as well, guys. So we're definitely going to jump right into that. I want to hear your thoughts, guys. Please tell me what you guys are feeling. What are your thoughts in regards to what transpired in tonight's draft? Are you happy? Are you, upset? Are you a little concerned? Are you optimistic? So I want to hear all of that, guys. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right. So first and foremost, guys, let's take a look at some of the surprises. And let's start with our Pittsburgh Steelers. So, guys, no, we did not choose a cornerback in the second round, nor did we choose a safety. Well, who we did, in fact, choose was a wide receiver by the name of JuJu Smith-Schuster. Now, for you guys that don't know this kid, this dude is very talented. He's young. I believe he's only 20 years old. He played at USC. Very talented, explosive, not extremely fast. He's a, sub 4.5, which is not too bad. But the key thing to know about this kid is he plays both inside and out. He could basically be challenging for the slot position. Now, I love Eli Rogers, but you got to keep your eye open when you see a guy like this. Again, remember what I said about TJ Watt. The Steelers love taking guys that are young with upside. Now, here's some interesting things, guys, about the picks. This is a very interesting thing I want to talk about in terms of Smith-Schuster. Now, you guys know I'm known for saying, and everyone knows this about the Steeler organization, they are known for, picking guys that come into the Steelers organization, for a pre-draft visit. They like guys with a pre-draft visit, or they like guys that they've been at their pro day, something of that nature. Most of the time, the pro day comes more in handy when it's the first round pick. Again, shout outs, giving credit to Alex Kozor. He stated this, a few weeks ago. The Steelers have been drafting a first round pick that has come from the pro day, has been their first round pick. They were at the pro day. Most of the time, it was Kevin Colbert and Tomlin. Or in a lot of cases, it was both Tomlin, Colbert, and also the positional coach, right? But the pre-draft visits at a lot of times is what the Steelers go after in later rounds. So why pick Smith-Schuster, you might ask? Here's another thing you have to take a look at and take into account. Kevin Colbert also stated that the way the Steelers use that draft board, what they generally do is they rank a guy, right? And they rank guys by player, not necessarily position. Of course, which within their positional group, you're going to have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, et cetera, et cetera. But they like to do, overall assessment on their full board. So let's say they got 50 people that they're looking at. They rank these guys from 1 to 50. And he said that a lot of times it might get to a position where you have a guy that you ranked so much higher than this next guy, even though he might be a positional need. Because of how high you have this guy ranked, they'll take that guy. That could be the case with Smith-Schuster. Nobody saw this one coming. I saw on a couple of different websites, they were saying there was really no real contact between him and the Steelers. They felt they wanted to get that guy at that moment. That's who they got, right? So, all right, let's take this into account as well. Who was the athletic director, I believe, at USC? If I'm not mistaken, isn't Lynn Swann the AD out there? This kid's at USC. There's a little bit of connection right there, right? I'm pretty sure Lynn Swann gets on the phone, or the vice versa. They have conversation. They see good in this guy, and for some reason they felt like they needed to get him in the second round. I didn't see it coming in the second round. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to question it. Remember what I told you guys last night, when they picked TJ Watt. I don't work for the Steelers staff. I am not a professional scout, nor am I a professional GM, nor am I on the personnel staff. I can't knock the decision. I could disagree, but I can't act like that the person that I would pick would have been a better choice. None of these people are guaranteed. I don't care if it's the number one overall. You never know what these guys are going to be. So some of the Steelers fans, some of you guys got to pipe down a little bit with the over criticism of the way they pick. We got to have faith in the Steelers. If there's one thing that the Steelers does very well, what is that? Developing wide receivers. Have we had a problem with that? That's another thing that you got to think about. Another thing that you have to think about. Maybe it's insurance. Maybe they don't know exactly what they're going to get from Martavis Bryant in terms of behavior and or skill. Now, of course, we know Martavis Bryant is definitely going to be opposite Antonio Brown. We all expect that if he comes in his camp the way he's supposed to, head on straight. But maybe the Steelers have some concerns. Remember, let's rewind a little bit. Remember when the Steelers, when he first got in trouble for the marijuana or what have you, remember they said this was some stuff that they knew he had some problems coming in? So there could be things behind closed doors that makes them feel like they need a receiver. Also, and I'm not going to stay on this part too long, guys. I want to rip through this. Sammy Coates, Haywood Bay, Ayers, Kobe Hamilton. These guys are expendable. At the current moment, they're saying that the Steelers would have 9 wide receivers on the roster. I could clearly see a situation. Oh, Justin Hunter. I could clearly see a situation where they perhaps put Ayers back on the practice squad. Probably going to cut 3 guys because I'm assuming they carry 5, maybe 6. So there's a possibility that a couple guys get cut. So who knows? Smith-Schuster might be a dude that comes in there and does his thing. Or he gets put on the practice squad, which I doubt. I think Ayers gets put on the practice squad before him because you don't want nobody to steal him. So all I'm saying is, guys, I know we all were asking for corner, safety, maybe double dip in the edge at the second, round pick. It didn't happen, and some of you lost your mind. I didn't. I said, okay. I hit up my boy Tony, who was here in the chat. I said, yo, let me pause for a minute and think why they may have done that. Instead of criticizing it, I was more so like, why did they do that? Because I had people even hitting me up on Twitter saying, man, the Steelers they ain't trying to address no defense. They're not trying to go after any needs. We didn't address the defense. Last time I checked, TJ Watt was a defensive player. What are you talking about? So anyway, let's get past that. We'll see what happens with the wide receiver situation. Maybe we'll start to learn later on why they chose him. So guess what happened in the 3rd round, guys? Lo and behold, we get a cornerback. We get Cameron Sutton. This is a guy, and I made a mistake on Steelers on Terrible Towel Tuesday, back on Tuesday. I said that he was from Clemson. My mistake, Tennessee. Now, this is a guy that you've heard me talk about. I talked about both him and Tankersley. And I talked about a couple other guys who actually got taken off of the board. My man, Rasul Douglas is gone. That really hurt. That hurt deep. And remember the guy Shaquille Griffin I was telling you all about? He got snagged. So I said, okay, 3rd round, they're probably going to go corner here. Because you're starting to see how guys are coming off of the board, right? You're starting to see it. So real quick assessment, man, on Cameron Sutton. I think Sutton is going to definitely challenge for the slot position. The way his build is, his stature, the way he plays, looking at his film, he's probably going to be battling for the slot corner position, which is the main, defensive back I think that we need right now. A lot of people try to bag on Ross Cockrell. I don't think Cockrell is as bad as some of us would say. He might not be the best corner in the world, but I think Cockrell still has upside. He has shown us in games that he's a serviceable cornerback. Artie Burns, we already know what we're going to expect from him. He's going to be on the come up. We definitely understand that. So I think the initial need is either a press corner on the outside to challenge Cockrell or a slot guy. Given all of the guys who were left on the board, they go with Sutton. Sutton is probably going to be the guy in the slot. I am not mad at that at all. I'm just happy to see that within the first 3 rounds, I thought it would be 1 and 2. I was wrong. I thought within the first 2 rounds, it would have been corner, edge, corner, whichever order you want to have it in. And I thought 3rd round would for sure be quarterback, I thought. And then I thought maybe another corner at that spot, which I was wanting it to be Rasul Douglas. So I was right as far as position with one of the 3rd round picks. Definitely was off with the 2nd round pick. And I was right about TJ Watt. Now, let's get to the 3rd pick. Well, yeah, the 3rd pick of the 3rd round, 2nd of the 3rd round for us. James Conner. Who saw that coming? Now, remember, guys, if you heard my mock that I did on Terrible Towel Tuesday, I said, you know what? I think the Steelers are going to get James Conner late. I think he's going to be an interesting story. He's local. You know, the letter to the GM, all of that stuff that he did, I thought they would get him later on. I didn't foresee them grabbing him that early. I did say weeks ago that I thought a running back would be taken in the 3rd round. It could be very possible. And this is before I did my mock, my final mock. I thought it was going to be cornerback, quarterback. Shout outs to Dave Todd. I know Dave Todd said it's definitely going to be a running back in one of those 3rd round picks. He was absolutely right. Most of us thought Conner would be a little later, even though nobody's mad, I don't think, at that pick, in my opinion. I can't be upset about that. And the reason why I'm not upset about it is the fact that we did get a corner. So I'm cool right now. So now we got a lot to play with, man. We have a lot to play with going into the 4th through 7th, because there's guys that's still out there. I mean, even at safety, this is a guy that we bought in. He wasn't even projected to be drafted, but this is a kid that we bought in pre-draft visit, Monte Nicholson. Never know. Could be somebody like that we grab. There's a couple other people left out there. Let me look at the list, man. There's a couple other people. Desmond King is still out there. Maybe we go with another corner. Carl Lawson is still out there. Now, his medicals may be really causing a problem, but there's still a lot of value still out there, man. Josh Dobbs. I really thought the Steelers were going to go with a quarterback in the 3rd. Now, again, looking at how the board is lined up and how people are coming off of it, maybe they think that Dobbs drops, because you notice that himself, Peterman, Kaya, none of these guys have been drafted yet. So I think the Steelers may be getting an understanding or a feeling of how everything's going to fall, because I think they still get a quarterback, perhaps 4th round. We'll see how that shakes up. But there's still talent out there, guys. But what's important to know is we cannot deny that in the first 3 rounds, the Steelers addressed 2 of the main areas of need: pass rush and cornerback position. Now, it would be great to get some more defensive guys, perhaps a safety, perhaps another corner, probably an inside backer. It would be great to get that next 4 rounds, because honestly, man, I don't feel like we necessarily need to draft a quarterback. Again, everyone is talking about next year being the year for quarterbacks as far as the class. I don't think we necessarily need it. Would be nice, because, again, if Ben goes down, I'm just not all the way confident with Landry Jones. I got to be honest there. We don't know what Zach Mettenberger is going to give us. So it would be cool to get a guy. But remember, I told y'all a few weeks ago, I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers didn't draft a quarterback this year and next year, trying to find the Ben Roethlisberger replacement. So I'm not too upset with the picks, guys. But let's take a look at some of the things that actually transpired that surprised me, man. So starting with the 2nd round, Kevin King went to the Packers. I understood that. Cam Robinson's gone. I'm just going to get certain names, and I'm not going to read the whole list like last night. Buda Baker went to the Cardinals. That's interesting. Where's some of the other ones that caught me off guard? I like Dalvin Cook to the Vikings. I actually like that. Anybody who went to Florida State, I'm a fan of. So that's cool, man. Trying to get some type of, production back in that area without Adrian Peterson. So happy for him, because he's probably going to go play right away. Now, this one I didn't see coming. Sidney Jones. That early in the 2nd. I didn't think he would go that far, or that early, rather, with the injury. That was another guy that I was hoping would fall to the 3rd, and I thought the Steelers might reach and get him. So the Eagles jumped out there a little bit, but hey, man, if he's ready to go by season or even later in the season, they may have very well found a gem, because y'all know how I feel about Sidney Jones. Who else here? Let me see who else. The Ravens got Tyus Bowser, another sneaky edge rusher, from Houston. And of course, it falls in our division. Our division did some work. Guess who else did some work? And this was a surprise as early as it was. The Bengals picked up Joe Mixon. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. Now, most people did say he probably would fall into the second round, which I'm gonna keep it real. I gotta keep it real for a second. In my opinion, if you are an organization and you take this guy in the second round, that's still relatively early. Because to me, I feel like if you have a problem with what he did back in the day, it was wrong. We all can admit to that, but he was a kid. I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm just saying we all know people or knew people when we were at a certain age that did dumb stuff. Wasn't thinking, probably was intoxicated, 18-year-old kid, whatever he was. Now, here's the thing. How is the risk any different? The fact that you didn't take him in the first. Because to me, if you are against that, you shouldn't take him at all. He should be completely off your board. So it's a little biasness right there. And honestly, this is how I feel. I feel all it is just a way for you to say we ain't going to pay you. Because if you take a guy in the first, you got to give him that bread. Once you fall in the second and beyond, you ain't getting the same money that you would have got in the first round. And I think that's wrong for organizations. I'd rather organizations man up and say, look, we don't stand for that. He's off our board. I don't care what round. But don't take him in their second round, which is right after the first, very early. Yeah, see, to me, that's crazy. You just messed his money up. So don't give me that. Either you like him, either you accept what he did and you're going to move forward, or you don't take him at all. That's just how I feel. Don't mess his money up. Redskins, Ryan Anderson. I keep telling y'all, I told people on Twitter, the Redskins are sneaky with their defensive picks. Let me just give you a couple names. They got Jonathan Allen yesterday. They got Ryan Anderson today. They got Zach Brown in the middle in the offseason. The Redskins may have a sneaky little defense by the time it's said and done. Let's see what else. Who else went here? The Browns. They went with Kaiser. So they're having a pretty good draft so far. I don't know if Kaiser is the man, but the fact that they were able to do what they did in the first round and still end up getting somebody of significance at the quarterback position in the second, got to give them their kudos for that. Let's see. Is there anything else that surprised me? The Packers got Josh Jones. That's a safety y'all know I wanted to get. And let's see. So on to the third round. See if there's any other surprises. Then after that, I'll read your comments and see what you guys are saying. And then we'll be up out of here. Let's see. Who else was a surprise to me? I didn't see coming. Once again in the division. Here's another cornerback that I have my eye on. They took who is it? The Bengals took no, not cornerback. I'm sorry. Outside linebacker, Jordan Willis, another pass rusher that I had my eyes on. The Steelers visited with him as well. And here come the Ravens. They took Chris Wormley, defensive end. So the Ravens are trying to beef up. And guess who else they get? Tim Williams out of Alabama. Now he definitely has some character issues. And let me speak on that real quick. Isn't it funny that the Cowboys and the Bengals seem to be taking these players? They seem to not have a problem with character issues. Very funny to me. When you think about the type of players that the Bengals currently have that has cost them, whether it monetarily or playoff win, very strange to me, man. It seems like it's the same teams that take these risk guys. Because the Cowboys, hold on, who was that the Cowboys got? Let me find it. I think it was Jordan Lewis. That's the corner I meant. I was saying Willis, but I meant Jordan Lewis. That was another corner I did like. But I think he has some character issues as well. So it's just funny to see, man, certain teams, always sticking to what they do. And look at, here come the Eagles. They grabbed my man, Rasul Douglas. The Eagles is building up a little defense over there. Think about that. Douglas and Sidney Jones, when you can get them get him healthy and they're both able to play at some point, could be something. And again, you never know what these guys are going to be. That's why I don't beat myself up as a fan over who we pick and who we don't pick, because none of these dudes have proven themselves in the NFL. We have all been watching football long enough to know that number one picks sometimes turn into straight garbage. We've seen it, particularly in quarterbacks. We've seen it in defensive backs. We've seen it with wide receivers. I'll throw one out there, and I know Tony's going to enjoy this. A dude that we had high hopes for, Lyman Sweet. Whatever happened to him? It's just, you never know, man. So I don't know why people beat themselves up so much about who the Steelers should have picked. They should have went to this guy. They should have got that guy. You don't know what none of these guys are going to be until they get on the field. Once again, some of our best players have been from the later rounds. You got to keep that in mind. Let's trust in the shield of the Steelers. Let's respect the organization and have faith that they pick people based on who they think they need at the time or who will offer the best for the team for that coming season and going forward. So even though I was shocked by the wide receiver in the second round, didn't piss me off once I did a little more research. And again, once I looked at the board and I said, wow, a lot of these other corners that I thought we might have grabbed in the second, still there. So that's about all I got for that, man. So let me come and take a look and see what you guys are saying here in the comments, man. And then, we'll get out of here. I'll read some of these here. Jordan Middleton says, I'm so happy. Explain why. I'm sure you're referring to the picks, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. What's up, man? I think we had a great draft. So far, I think we did very, very well. Very upset we didn't take Fabian Moreau. Yeah, and let me take a look at that. When did Moreau go? Moreau went, trying to look, because, yeah, Fabian Moreau was another guy that I had my heart on. Yeah, we could have got it. We could have taken him in the second. And I think he went in the third, right before us, a couple picks before we picked, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. We were number 94. And when did Fabian Moreau go? Oh, no, not right before. Oh, the Skins got him. See, what I tell y'all, the Redskins is sneaky, man. They going to mess around and have a solid defense. Oh, I got to mention this one. How did I miss this, guys? The New England Patriots got Derek Rivers. God, man. That's another guy that I wanted. Remember what I said? I wanted edge, and then I wanted a corner, and then I wanted possibly somebody like Rivers in the third round or so if he was there, double dip. But it didn't happen, so it is what it is, man. So let's go back and see what else you guys are saying here. But the Pats, man, that daggone your boy, what's his name? Bill Belichick. He's something else. Kenyon Wright said, I told you about JuJu. You definitely did, man. You was right on point with that. Salutes to you, brother. We didn't need a wide receiver. Well, this is the thing. How do you know that? Let me ask you this question. People keep saying that. I've seen a couple people say that. Who do you trust behind Martavis Bryant, which we still got to see what's going to become of him, and Antonio Brown? Let's be fair for a minute. Who can you really say going to be the guy that's going to step up? I love Eli Rogers, and I think Eli Rogers will become a very good guy. But he's your slot receiver. So who's behind that? Who's that number 4 guy? The number 4 guy. Who was the Sammy Coates or Kobe Hamilton or now Justin Hunter or Haywood Bay or DeMarcus Ayers? Who is that other big body guy that can line up on the outside? See what I'm saying? Sammy Coates showed potential early in the year. He gets injured, doesn't do that well, comes back after injury, didn't do that great. So we don't know, right? Kobe Hamilton did a couple things for us on third down, possession guy, but we don't know if he's that full-fledged guy. He might just, I don't know. He might just be a big body guy that can do some certain things, but not everything that we need him to do. We don't know what Justin Hunter is going to give us. Let's not forget that he has been on a couple teams already, and he's only 25, which is an upside. He is tall. He is fast. but we haven't seen him play for Pittsburgh. So I challenge you to ask that question. You say we didn't need a wide receiver, but who is that legitimate fourth guy or third? Because, I mean, let's not act like Eli Rogers' position can't be challenged. It's just something you got to think about. What else did you guys say here? Can never have enough receivers. Absolutely, Caleb. I agree with you, brother. I'm all right with Cameron Sutton and James Conner, but that's it. Again, I don't know why people are beating themselves up about Smith-Schuster. This dude could end up being something, man. I mean, I get if you didn't want a receiver in the second round. I get that. But now that we got him, let's not poo-poo that idea. You know what I mean? Tony says, my man, Lawson and Rivers Tankersley dropped. Yeah, they did. Lawson is still out there. Tankersley ended up getting picked up, though, I believe. Let me double check. I think somebody grabbed him. Yeah, the Dolphins. The Dolphins are doing big things on defense as well. They are definitely trying to improve their defense. Running back position will finally be deep. Yes. I'm cool with James Conner, man. I just did not know that. I didn't think Conner would go where he went. Didn't think that. I thought the Steelers would back off of getting I thought they would back off from getting a running back in the third, even though early on, if y'all remember me saying weeks ago, I thought it would be Wayne Gallman. I thought it might be my man Foreman, Donta Foreman. I'm glad he got picked up. Great story, great and sad all at the same time with stuff with his son. I'm happy to see he got drafted. There's a couple guys that was out there that I thought the Steelers may have looked at. But then remember I said on Tuesday that I think they were high on Conner with him being local. Perfect situation bringing him in. You don't really need an outstanding back as a backup. You got now Davis that's going to help out a little bit here with a return game, and he's a capable back. Some people may not like him, but I think he's good enough to be a backup. So you could afford to get a James Conner. You don't have to go deep in the running back pool. And I thought Conner would fall, so I figured the Steelers would get him 4th, 5th, maybe 6th round. But it is what it is. I'll take it. And yeah, somebody did confirm what I said about William Swan being the AD out of USC. So you have to use all of those connections, connect the dots, man. There's a reason why they took a wide receiver. So don't be so down on it, man. What up, Still Jedi? What's going on, brother? He said he loves this draft so far. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Glad Wheaton is finally gone. Somebody said great pick. Paul Bullock, which pick are you referring to? Which one did you feel is a great one? JJ Walker says Sammy Coates is getting cut. Kenya Wright said, yep, Sim, Bay, Coates, and Hunter may not make it. Yeah, Hunter may not make it, man. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. My man Tony said he loves Cam Sutton. I love him too, man. I talked about him. I didn't mock him because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure he would still be around. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I started getting a little nervous watching the second round. I was seeing a couple guys leave, and I was like, But again, some of these corners started falling after it. To be honest with y'all, man, it seems like the Steelers know exactly how people are falling. Because initially what I thought about the receiver, I was like, why? But then as I thought about it, me and Tony was texting, I was like, you know what? They know something. I think they feel like they could get one of these corners in the third round. Because remember where we picked that? We picked that 62. That's almost the end of that round. And none of those dudes had come off the board. Not Tankersley, not Sutton, the guy, Jalen Myrick. All these guys are still out there. So I think they felt comfortable taking the receiver, which is a security, putting some security in the bank. And they knew they would still get a corner in the third. And that's why I can't be pissed about this draft, because so far we have got the initial needs. Pass rusher, cornerback of some sort. All right, let's see what else. Kenyon Wright said, most impatient Steelers fans wanted us to do what the Ravens did, load up on defense, but the value when we picked in the second was not there. Thank you. See, Kenyon Wright, it's always great, and no disrespect to some of us out here. It's always great to see guys that use this and they understand the team. You understand what I'm saying? Trust the process, man. Let me see. My boy Captain Spartan says, I'm all right with Cameron Sutton and James Conner. Love TJ Watt, but just still confused on JuJu. I get it because, that's the initial reaction, but we'll see. Hopefully that feeling starts to fade away as the season starts approaching and we start seeing who's going to be on the team. Caleb Lewis says Sutton and Golson, two gritty SEC slot corners, would be a good little battle. Yeah, Golson in trouble. Golson got to show up. Okay, you might say, well, Sutton is coming from college, but guess what? He played football this year. He's played football in this year. Can't say that for Golson. He's 2 years removed from college. Interesting. And I love Golson coming out. I was high on him, but hey, man, it is what it is. Eli Rogers is 6'1". Is he? Eli not that tall. No, Eli not that tall. Eli's under 6 feet. He's like 5'10" or something like that. All right, guys. So we're about to get ready to get out of here. Still, D34 KC says Landry Jones is horrible. Second round was crazy. Listen, man, Captain, I'm telling you, don't jump off the bridge yet, man. Don't jump off the bridge yet. Let's see why we did that. Desmond King probably getting snatched right away. Yeah. Very possible he goes. But again, last thing I'm going to say, man, is let's just have faith in the team, in the front office. They know something. And we've had success, especially with receiver. So I have to be fair and say whenever they take a receiver, I can't question it. Even if as much as I wanted defense in that round, even if it was the first round, if they identify a receiver based on our track record, I can't question that. I just be like, I didn't want that, but I wash my hands of it. I trust you. So that's how I feel on that. All right, a couple more comments here, guys, and then we'll be out of here. JuJu is a team guy, second round pick. He will be competing right away. Yep. What positions do you want us to get in rounds 4 and 7? Good question. And again, just to remind you guys, I'm not going to do a recap on 4 through 7. All of you guys who are watching today, man, I appreciate all of y'all coming. I see we got up to over 102. I love it, man. I appreciate you guys supporting. For you guys who are not familiar with me, I do Terrible Towel Tuesday on Tuesdays. Most of the time it's right around 12:15 noon. I'm a work from home type of guy, so I have the opportunity on Tuesdays during my lunch hour. I can knock out Terrible Towel Tuesday. Sometimes, guys, I do it as a recording. So there's sometimes I have to go into the office on Tuesday. My normal day to go to the office is Mondays. I work from home the rest of the days. But in the case where I don't go on Monday, there's times I go on Tuesday. Whenever that happens, I do just a recording and I load it up on YouTube. So I ask all of you guys, man, whether you're into any of the other things I do here on this channel or not, you still the fans that, come by and support Terrible Towel Tuesday, because I want it to be interactive like this is, where you guys can chime in with your comments and even bring some of you on. It's very easy to be a part of a Google Hangout. All I need is an email and you guys can call me on the show. You could be visual like I am, or you could just do your voice. But that's what I want it to be. I want this to be like a Steelers place where we can all just talk Steelers, and I'm not a professional at this. You know what I mean? And it's just some local stuff between us regular Steeler fans who love the Steelers. So definitely come by and support that. On Tuesday, I will give my full opinion on the entire draft. All right. So the last thing here, my guy here says he's mad that the Cowboys took Woozy. Yeah, I wanted him too, man. I had my eyes on him. I really did. Let's see. One more comment. See whose comment I'm going to take. Stephen Kemp, you'll be the last comment of the night. He says, JuJu is a good player. Once he develops, he can be a number 2 receiver. I wanted Peppers in the first, but we don't all get what we want. Next year's draft, we got to take a quarterback. You might be right about that. The Steelers may hold off and not get a QB this year. We'll see. But let me throw some wishful thinking. Excuse me, guys. I got choked up there. Let me throw some wishful thinking at you guys. I would like for us to miss on a quarterback next year because we're picking number 32. Hint, hint. We would be picking number 32. That's what I would love. And I'll live with Landry Jones for another year if we have to miss a quarterback next draft because we picked at number 32 and we don't get the best guys. I wouldn't mind that at all. Just saying. But all right, man, I'm going to get out of here, man. Y'all do me a favor before y'all go, man. Hit the like button, man, if you like what you saw. If you didn't, I understand that as well. But share your thoughts there. You can dislike as well because I'm a real person. I want to see the real feedback. And, yeah, share the video with other Steelers fans, man. And continue to come back here even after the live stream is gone to comment because I'm going to try to answer as many comments as I can. Obviously, I can't really do it here in the chat. These will disappear, but actual comments will appear on the video once it's archived. So that's all I got for you guys, man. I'm heading out of town tomorrow. I got to go visit my mom and dad. Sad news, man. My mother and my grandma found out this evening that they're both in the hospital. So I got to head out. They live in Virginia. I got to go to Virginia, check on them. So that's another reason why I'm not going to do a recap as well, even if I wanted to, for rounds 4 through 7. But come back, Terrible Towel Tuesday. I would definitely do that, and I want to hear all of you guys' thoughts as well on Tuesday of the final draft. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. That's going to do it. Here we go, Steeler Nation. Let's be proud that we got an edge, a corner, possibly a great receiver, and a backup running back. So we did pretty good so far, and there's still 4 rounds to go. You never know. So, all right, guys, y'all be good. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll be back at you guys on Tuesday for Terrible Towel Tuesday. Peace.